You know that feeling, right? You draw a line on a stock chart, you step back, and you're just not sure. Is this actual solid analysis? Or am I just kind of hoping, just seeing what I want to see? Look, it's a question literally every trader asks. But today, we're going to swap out that uncertainty for some real confidence. We're going to dig into one simple but super powerful rule that'll help you validate your charts and just cut through all that noise.
And that's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? Is what you're looking at a strategic map, something based on real data? Or is it, well, just a piece of art full of wishful thinking? The line between those two can feel so blurry sometimes. But that's exactly what we're going to fix today. We're going to give you a tool that's basically a litmus test for your analysis.
Ah, yes, the classic spaghetti chart. Come on, we've all been there. You've got so many lines, so many indicators and channels all over the place that you can't even see the price anymore. That's not analysis, you know? It's just chaos. And in trading, chaos, well, it leads to expensive mistakes. So let's clean this up. What if I told you there's a way to find the one or two lines that really matter?
Okay, so here's the game plan. We're going to introduce a simple, repeatable technique. It's called the Touchpoint Rule. And it's designed to do one thing: help you validate the most important areas on your chart with total confidence.
All right, let's start with the basics: supply and demand zones. The absolute best way to think about these is like historical battlegrounds on the chart. Seriously. Demand zones? Those are the price levels where buyers just dug in their heels and basically said, nope, not going any lower, and they pushed the price up. And supply zones are just the opposite. They're the price ceilings where sellers took over and forced the price back down. Our entire rule is built on finding these battlegrounds with real precision.
And the process? It's so simple. It's just 2 steps. Step 1, you spot a recent area where the price clearly turned around. Step 2, you draw a little box around it. And then you just drag that zone horizontally across your chart, back in time. That's it. That's the whole technique. But the real magic, the aha moment, happens when you see what that line connects with.
And this is the moment of truth. As you're dragging that zone back into the past, you're kind of on a treasure hunt for what we're calling touch points. Does your zone line up with other major turning points in the stock's history? See, a really powerful, valid zone is never an island. It's more like a historical landmark. It mattered before, and chances are it's going to matter again.
You know, the source material puts this perfectly when it talks about the predictive power. It says that once you've confirmed the zone has that historical significance, you can pretty much expect the story to continue. It's like the price has a memory, right? And it will often come back to test that exact same level, giving you a brand new touch point. Now that is not just a random line on a chart. That is some powerful validation.
All right, so the theory sounds good, right? It makes sense, but the real test is always seeing it in action. So let's pull up some real-world charts and actually put this Touchpoint Rule to the test.
Okay, first up, let's look at Apollo Microsystems. This chart is showing what traders call a pole and flag pattern. Basically, a big, sharp move up, and then it kind of goes sideways for a bit. Now, you can see the price bouncing around in this lower zone, which suggests it's a support level. But here's the question. Is that a truly reliable floor? Or is it just a temporary little pause before the price tanks? Let's find out.
Okay, now just watch this. We're going to apply our rule. We take that zone, we extend it backward, and look at that. Bingo. It lines up absolutely perfectly with the exact level where the stock paused right before its last huge rally. All of a sudden, that maybe support line we drew isn't random at all. Nope, it's a confirmed historically significant level. That is exactly the kind of validation we're talking about.
All right, let's do another one. This time we'll look at a resistance zone. We've got a chart of tips music, and it really looks like the price is hitting a ceiling up here, right? It gets rejected over and over. It looks like a strong supply zone for sure. But, you know, in trading, we can't just rely on what something looks like. We need proof. So what do? We apply the rule. We extend that supply zone back in time, and what do we find? Not just one, but multiple historical peaks that line up perfectly. This tells us the price has tried and failed to break through this level several times before. This is just a brilliant illustration of how one simple action, extending that line, gives us the confidence to say, yep, this is a real significant barrier.
Okay, so once you get the hang of this Touchpoint Rule, you can start to see something really cool. One of the most powerful dynamics in all of technical analysis. It's called the role reversal, or the Great Flip.
This next idea is a total game changer, I promise you. When a really strong support level finally breaks, it doesn't just disappear. It does this role reversal thing. It literally flips and becomes the new resistance. Now, why does that happen? Just think about the psychology behind it. All the people who bought at that level, thinking, hey, this is the floor, well, they're now holding a losing position. Their only hope is for the price to climb back up to where they bought it just so they can sell and get their money back. And that selling pressure is what creates the new ceiling.
And here's a perfect example. Let's look at the chart for JK Lakshmi Cement. See how the price came down to this one level, bounced, and then came right back to test it again? That's what traders call a double bottom, and it created a really powerful demand zone. Buyers felt safe there. It was a proven floor.
But then, the price eventually broke down through that floor. Now look what happens when it tries to rally back up. Bam! It slams right into the underside of that exact same zone. The old floor has become the new ceiling. The price is getting rejected from the very same level that used to hold it up. It's fascinating. And that, right there, is the great flip. The exact same price level transforms. It goes from a zone of buyer optimism to a zone of seller's regret. And if you can spot this transformation happening on a chart, that gives you a massive strategic edge. It helps you anticipate where the market might go next.
So, okay, we've learned the rule, we've seen it in action on real charts. So the big question is, how do you make this second nature? How do you really develop that analyst's eye?
Well, first things first, don't mistake this for some kind of magic trick or a secret formula. The Touchpoint Rule is a fundamental skill. It's kind of like a guitarist practicing scales. It's not glamorous, right? But it's the absolute foundation of everything else. It's through that repetition that this moves from something you have to think about to something that's just instinctive. It's how you start to see the music in the market.
And the source material actually gives us a very specific workout plan for this. The advice is to analyze 10 to 15 different stock charts every single day. It's that daily repetition that really builds the muscle memory.
And the ultimate goal of all this daily practice? It's to build what the source calls symmetricity. It's really all about training your eyes and your brain to just instinctively see the hidden structure inside all that market chaos. It's how you turn that subjective guesswork into a process that's objective, repeatable, and gives you real confidence.
So, there you have it. A really simple tool to turn all that guesswork into a solid game plan. You now have a proven method to validate your analysis, to see the market's hidden architecture. So the only question left is, what stories are your charts going to tell you now? Go on, get out there and start listening.